Now, I have not talked MMA for a while, and that is a credit to boxing. Boxing is on fire in 2017. You know, lots of news, lots of big fights going on, a lot of buzz around the sport. Okay, MMA is kind of quiet at the moment. UFC pay per view has not been hot this year so far, uh, and there just hasn't been, not that I can recall off the top of my head, any big great fights so far. Okay, but I need to comment on this Bellator situation. Now, I have made videos about Bellator in the past. I've said that they have a chance. They have an opportunity. With the USADA and the Reebok deal and sponsorships and the way UFC is, making these crazy matchups, giving guys title shots when they don't deserve it. When the best guys are not fighting for the belts. I felt like, Bellator has an opportunity. Okay, I'm rooting for Bellator. I like Scott Coker. I want fighters to have another place to go to make a good wage. Okay. However, even though I say that, and this is going to be very contradictory and going to be harsh, but I'm going to be blunt, okay? Because I am being real on my channel, okay? I do not want Bellator to succeed in the pay-per-view business. I just do not, okay? I wish the fighters will. I wish Scott Coker will. I wish Bellator will. But look, I want the pay per view business to die altogether, okay, or be significantly reduced as far as the cost for them, okay. Trust me, even though I am not following wrestling these days hardcore as I used to, I still have my WWE Network subscription, okay. I can tune in and I can watch what used to be pay per views. Now they're more or less special events, but they still call pay per views. I can watch those on my network subscription. Okay, only $10 a month. Okay, that is a great value deal along with the library. Okay, I wish it got to a place to where the UFC was the exact same way. Okay, if not, offer me a deal where I pay maybe 20 or $30 a month and I get the pay per view included with my fight pass. Okay, that would work out. Okay, but I'm paying. Well, I have a yearly fight pass subscription, which is what $100 or whatever it is, and then on top of that, I'm paying $60 a month for pay per view. Now imagine UFC is in the pay per view game. Okay, and I don't plan on stop buying those pay per views because we all know that the best fighters are in the UFC. That's just the way it is. Even with these free agent acquisitions from Bellator, the UFC still has all the top talent. Okay. Um, Now imagine this: we're gonna have a $60 UFC pay per view. Okay. Now what if we have a boxing pay per view? Okay. That's probably gonna be $70. Okay. So that's what $130. Okay, and then if we have a Bellator pay per view, all in the same month. Now, I'm assuming this Bellator is going to be anywhere from $50 to $55, probably 55 in HD on DirecTV. Okay, so that's going to be what $185 potentially just in pay per view per month. Or for a month. You know, that's ridiculous, man. That's like double my damn DirecTV bill, man. Um, I just saw a clip on YouTube. Scott Coker saying that they are not going to do monthly pay per views. They're just going to kind of build fights up and then put, kind of stack a big pay per view card. So I'm assuming they may do like, one every quarter or three per year, something along those lines. But still, man, I like Bellator as a Spike TV accessible product. Like Strikeforce was an accessible product. Look, you got a Showtime subscription. You was able to watch all of the Strikeforce fights, okay, and that was great, okay. And I got to see which I realized at that time that those were high level guys that I felt could have competed with the UFC, and ultimately we found out, hell, they were the cream of the crop, or at least they eventually grew into it. Because I mean, look at the champions that they've had: Rockhold, Cormier. You got Jacare still at the top of the game. Fabricio became a champion. I mean, there have been a lot of guys. Robbie Lawler. Ronda Rousey. I mean, on and on and on. Chris Cyborg, even though she has not fought for the UFC title yet, she's been given that damn title, but we know she is the best women's fighter on the planet. Okay, all of these people, man, came from Strikeforce and made a dent. Tyron Woodley, current welterweight champion, Strikeforce guy. All of these guys, man. Um, so Strikeforce is still going strong in the UFC. That was a great product. All you had to do was have a Showtime subscription to watch those guys. Okay. Um, you know, I like Bellator being on Spike TV. What they have got, what as high as what 2 million people watching those cards on Spike TV, maybe higher. I don't know, but put those fights on Spike TV, man. Let more people watch your product. More people are going to see you than on UFC pay per view. And they getting only what? How many? 200,000 to 400,000 buys on average. It seems like nowadays, man. Their numbers are going down. If Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor aren't headlining pay per views, the numbers aren't all that. They not all that great. Okay. So, and then look at the headliner. We got Chael Sonnen, who was out for years, came back and got smoked in one round. I think less than half the round. Okay, lost that fight terribly. He's the headliner, and he's fighting a guy who's been out of the cage, an older guy who has been out for what 4 years. That's the headliner at MSG. I mean, I've been wanting to see that fight, but I do not want to pay $55 for it. Okay, the Fedor Mitrione fight as the co-main event, again, a fight I'd like to see. But I'm not trying to pay additional money for pay-per-view, man. I spend enough on pay-per-view as it is. Pay-per-view needs to die. We need to get these fights on TV, so we don't have to keep forking over this money. Pay-per-view it's not going to last, man. It's just not. With all these streaming services coming, it's just too accessible, man. People can stream these pay-per-views without paying. There are all types of gimmicks to watching these events, man. And people need to get away from pay-per-view and do like WWE did. They were smart. They got out of the pay-per-view business a few years ago. They have built up their own subscription network. They have over 1 million subscribers. Do the math. That's at $10 a month. That's over 10 million a month coming in. Okay, that's what, over $120 million. That they are making off the network. Now they got expenses with that too, I'm sure, but still, I'm pretty sure that 120 million trumps what they would have made just off pay-per-view. Okay, because their pay-per-view business was not hot as it was, and definitely should not be, because their product is not that good. It has not been for years. Okay, so they were smart. They got out of the game. UFC, man, they would be doing us a favor by offering us something with Fight Pass, with these pay-per-views, or either selling their pay-per-views to a network that would pay them a good chunk of money, and the network could get high sponsorship ads off of airing those pay-per-views, man. And UFC would have a lot more viewers. The sport would get a lot more bigger, man, if it was more accessible. I think a Conor McGregor fight on Fox, man, it should definitely, I would think, at a minimum, hit 10 million viewers at a minimum. Okay, and that trumps 1.5 million on pay-per-view. Okay, trumps it big time. Okay, so I just want to comment on that situation, man. I am rooting for Bellator. The only way that I see myself buying this pay-per-view is if Mike Goldberg is doing the play-by-play. If it's announced that Mike Goldberg is the play-by-play man on this pay-per-view, then I will buy. But if not, I just can't do it, man. And I want to support Bellator. I want them to do well, but I do not. We do not need another pay-per-view player getting in the game. We need people getting off pay-per-view. We need people getting out of that game, out of that business, man. Bellator is a fine product on Spike TV. It is a fun product. People talk about it. People watch it because all they have to do is pay their cable bill, and there it is right there on Friday night or Saturday night to be viewed. Okay? Because I tell you, they're going to put on the pay-per-view 1 month. The UFC going to have pay-per-view, and then it's probably going to be a boxing pay-per-view. 3 weekends out of a 4 week month. you're gonna have to pay for pay-per-view. You're gonna have to not watch one, push one to the side, and it's crazy, man. It is crazy. You know, I know they want to get in the pay-per-view game to help attract more fighters. They can offer more incentives and contracts, pay-per-view points they can offer guys. I'm pretty sure they need to offer pay-per-view points to compete with the UFC contracts that they offer these guys in negotiating, okay, to match the UFC. That's probably a big reason why they're doing it. But I tell you, man, you know, Bellator, look, these fighters are going to Bellator, man. Lorenz Larkin went over to get this guy an immediate title shot. That was a brilliant, brilliant move, man. Look, the guy just beat Neil Magny, who was a highly ranked, still is highly ranked welterweight in the UFC. That's kind of a race now that Lorenz Larkin is gone. It's like Neil Magny never lost that fight, okay? He is still highly ranked. He smoked Neil Magny, okay? Made him look bad. He gets an immediate title shot, okay? Now, if you're a UFC free agent, you see that, you say, man, Lorenz Larkin, man, he went to Bellator, he got an immediate shot. Why I can't go over there and get an immediate shot, very attractive. That and Benson Henderson got the same thing. When he went over Hill, he got two cracks at the title and lost both. Okay, what a bust he was. Not a guy that should have been highly sought after as a free agent, in my opinion. Not an exciting fighter, and just not that great. Let's just be blunt about it. Okay. The guy won the UFC lightweight championship, I know, but hell, I thought he lost to Frankie twice myself, okay, and then lost in the first round to Anthony Pettis, okay, so whatever. But man, I know they are doing this to try to compete with the UFC, man, but they don't need to do this, man. The fighters, trust me, it's gonna be these UFC and Bellator fighters training in the same gyms. These guys are going to be seeing these Bellator guys not being hounded by USADA, having more sponsorship money, not worrying about Reebok deals, and and probably just overall being treated better by Bellator than the UFC. So I mean, so many advantages, man. And I think I could be wrong, but I think they are giving some of these guys, not all of these guys, they are getting a flat fee for fighting. It's no win bonus, I believe. I think Mitrione's contract was like that. I'm pretty sure Benson Henderson probably was the same way. These guys show up, they fight, they get paid that flat fee. They don't have to worry about if they lose, they don't get a chunk of money. So another attractive incentive to get guys. So I tell you, man, I think that Bellator would be just fine without getting into the pay-per-view business, man. I want them to do well. I want to support them, but I do not want to support another pay-per-view player in the game, especially when they have already been on free TV putting on fights. Okay, sorry Bellator, but I just don't, man. I wish you guys well, but like I said, unless a Mike Goldberg, who I'm a big fan of, unless it is announced that he is the play-by-play guy, I do not want to buy this pay-per-view, man. And I wish you guys well. You're doing good for fighters. I'm glad you guys in business, but we want to see you guys on Spike. We want to enjoy your fights. You have more viewers, and we have enough people trying to get 60 and $70 out of us for an event. Thanks for watching.